Hello everyone and thank you for joining me. For today, I will be drawing with a fountain pen that it's actually really interesting, even though I had some issues with it. More on that a little bit later. The fountain pen, I had it for quite a while, and as you can see it came in a book-like case, and as such when I got it I put it on a bookshelf and I kind of forgot about it. A couple of months back I found it and I decided to put it in the rotation and plan it when I'll use it, and today is the day. Basically, the pen comes as a kit. It has the fountain pen that's the fountain pen portion, and then it comes with a ballpoint section and a roller refiller. I don't know the difference between a ballpoint and a roller, maybe there is, however it does not seem like a regular Bic, at least the refiller. I did try it and it's more like an inky, thicker ink coming out of the ballpoint part rather than the regular paste that comes out of a ballpoint. Again, I'm not very well versed into ballpoints and all the types, refiller types that he has, I always get confused by it. The cool thing about it though, that I kind of like, is that the refiller actually screws in into the section for the ballpoint. I don't think I ever seen that before, and I'm a little bit confused by it because I'm not sure if I'll be able to actually find replacements. I'll try and look for it, but I don't know. If you know what this is, let me know in the comments below. Going back to the fountain pen part, the cap screws on into place and it has a pretty nice clip that it's hinged, and it has an interesting part on the clip that it's semi-translucent, and apparently that little thing is glowing in the dark. I don't know how much it will help you and how much you will like it, but there you go, it glows in the dark. Removing the cap, it's actually fairly easy, and the facets on the cap and the barrel do match very nice when the cap is in place. Something that it's actually a pleasant surprise coming from Hero. Most of the fountain pens that I have from them, even the higher end tier, between quotes I guess, they always had things that don't really 100% line up on them. Like I mentioned, cap comes out very easily, replacing the section is just as nice, opens up very nicely. The cool thing about, the cool and odd thing about this fountain pen is that the nib that it comes with, it's a number 5 nib, but it's a 10K nib. Very similar with the other nib from the other fountain pen that they have that copies a Mont Blanc. I forgot the code for that one or the name. I believe it's like an H something as well. I don't remember the number right now, but in theory it's pretty much exactly the same nib. Now going into the testing part for the writing portion, I decided to ink it up with an ink that you've seen it before, you've seen me using it before, is the Dryden Designs Blue Black. I wanted to switch up a little bit and move from black to a different color, which I know it works on the paper that I'm using, and it had to be a blue black. Filling it up was fairly easy, however when I started to do the writing part, I noticed that ink was actually coming out of the pen, so basically it was building up blobs at the tip of the ink and then just drop it on the paper. Usually that's a sign that there's something wrong with the converter. Maybe it's not sealed properly, or somehow there is an air leak, and that's what usually what creates a leaky pen. So I rinse it up, dismember the converter, sealed it with some silicone grease, tried it again, and that didn't fix the issue, so I actually end up switching up the converter with another one that seems to work nicely. But after that, after I refilled it again, I realized that the pen had a different issue. The nib was moving left and right on the feed. I realized that it was not actually pushed properly, so I pushed it properly in, but then revealed a different issue. It looks like the feed and the nib are not a good match, and the feed profile it's straight while the nib profile it's slightly curved. So I actually had to set the feed by hitting it up and letting the nib to push on the feed as it's soft, and basically I build the profile of the feed to match the profile of the nib. That worked great, but then I realized that probably because the feed has been pushing on the nib for so long, and this nib is fairly soft even though it's 10K, it kind of misaligned it a little bit, so I had to realign the nib. So yeah, it's pretty much everything that could go wrong with the pen went wrong, but eventually I got it working, and I did finally made to do the writing sample, and everything seemed to be working just fine. Based on that, I don't know if I would recommend the fountain pen, even though as I was writing and as I was doing my drawing for today, I actually kind of fell in love with it a little bit. I do like it. And I think I want to try the ballpoint as well. Maybe next year I'm going to try and use some ballpoints pens as well, not just fountain pens. As a fun fact, usually you have more control on the ballpoint part than the fountain pen. It gives you way more control. If I have to rate it, I would say top one will be pencil or lead or anything like that. It gives you more control over your lines. Then it will be the ballpoint, and then maybe the fountain pen. So I think I could get some interesting drawings. So maybe next year I'll revisit this fountain pen and have a look at that ballpoint part of it. I might have to change the refiller though, because I haven't used it for years. I think it started to dry up, or maybe the refiller part is not that good, and it skips in a weird way. You don't get a consistent line. With the fountain pen aside and the adventure that I had with it, going back into the drawing, as you probably see by now, I didn't chicken out and I decided to actually proceed and try and do a demonic wolf-like creature. I don't know if it turned out to be like a wolf. Don't laugh at me. It's the first time I'm trying this, and it turned out a little bit funky, I guess. It's definitely a creature with some wolf-like characteristics. As you saw me at the beginning, I was trying to find the lines, and it took me a while to figure out what I want to go with it. I did look at a few pictures and other images before I decided to do the drawing, and then I just tried to mash up whatever it was in my head into one cohesive drawing. So I do hunt a lot the lines. But once I kind of have the overall shape, I just starting to give it, volume, and try and define the nose, the teeth, and the eyes, the ears. I wasn't sure how to go with the ears. At first, I kind of wanted to go for something without fur or without hair. That would look pretty scary, I guess. I always find animals without hair to look more vicious than they probably are, and that's why I was thinking maybe no hair. But then I kind of end up being half and half. I did my fleshy look, but at the same time I sort of put some fur-like lines around the creature. I really like how the ears actually end up looking on it, or on him, or on her. I'm not sure. Whatever you want to call it, that's what we'll call it. I kind of like how the teeth turn out. I wasn't sure on the tongue what to do with it. Obviously the mouth turned out a little bit darker. The eyes, I wasn't sure about them either, but once I started to darken the eyes, that's at that point kind of things started to click into place, and I have everything set in mind. When I was doing the mouth, I wasn't 100% sure how I want to go with it. But once I started tackling the eyes and the region around the eyes, it's like I had the vision complete and I know what I had to do. From that point forward, everything was fairly easy. It was just a matter of filling in spaces and building up volume and shapes. I also decided to do its left side darker than its right side. That will be I guess on the right side, as you look at it, that will be the darker part. I kind of dig how the ears end up as well. I kind of like the eyes too, as I mentioned. It's kind of there's no flesh on the eye. It's more like just the eyes sunk into the skull and just being dark. I wasn't sure how to do the nose. I sort of remember the lines, how the nose would look like. So I kind of got it there. I think I could have done a better job, but I guess that's okay too. Nothing wrong with it. Took one break while I was doing the drawing. It took me, I believe, about 2 hours and a half to complete it. And I really had fun with it. While it doesn't look much like a wolf, maybe more like a wolf-like creature, I did had a lot of fun with it. And to my surprise, the fountain pen actually worked out very well. It started really wet, and as such I kind of used that on reverse, especially when I was doing the discovery lines. But as the dust from the paper was clogging onto the nib, or clogging a little bit the nib, it started to be a little bit dry, so I started using it better on the normal side. Yeah, this paper and nibs are not very good friends. Like I said, this paper is not very smooth. It can flake, and if you go for too long in the same spot, you can actually eventually dig a hole through it. And because of the nature of this paper, it creates a lot of dust that deposits on the nib and eventually clogs the nib. I don't know if you'll see me here and there. I'm actually trying to clean the nib sometimes. When it gets towards that, it actually can't put any lines on the page, or it's too dry, or I have to press too hard to put any lines on it. But other than that, which is not really, at least on this part, is not really the fountain pen's fault, everything worked out pretty fine. One thing that I would have loved, it's maybe the battle be a little bit longer, or at least be able to post it, because yeah, you cannot post this fountain pen. You can jam it in there if you really want to, and sort of it catches on, but as you move it, it will fall. As such, I don't consider this fountain pen postable. However, the weight of it and the shape of it makes it very comfortable for writing. I don't mind using it for writing, it's very comfortable. For drawing, as you see me as I hold it, I definitely would have loved to be a little bit longer. Also, the ridges on the barrel, again as I hold it when I draw, kind of do dig up on my fingers, and it got to be a little bit uncomfortable after a while. Holding it normal though for writing, it's actually very comfortable because the section is round. You don't get those ridges, and actually it's non-slippery. You can hold on to it fairly well. And my hands tends to be a little bit oily. Unfortunately, because of the issues that I had with it, I don't know if I can recommend it, because if all of them are the same, then that feed definitely is not designed to be used with that nib, and you'll most probably have the same issues. If you like a wet nib, probably won't bother you that much, but if you prefer a more drier nib, or regular, I guess between quotes, flow, you might have to work on the feed and the nib, you'll have to heat up that feed to make it curve and take the profile of the nib. So yeah, plus it's also a little bit expensive. When I bought it, if I remember correctly, it was around 135 Canadian dollars. Out of curiosity, I looked online to see prices for it, and seems on some parts I've seen them close to $200. And I don't know if it comes with the book and the rollerball part. If you decide to buy it, keep those things in mind. It's definitely an interesting fountain pen. I definitely like it. I can't recommend it based on the issues that I had, but once I fixed it up, fortunately, I have some idea on how to fix fountain pens, and after that, it was actually a joy to use. So I'm kind of happy to have it. I'm kind of unhappy because I'm unable to actually recommend it, not based on the copy that I have. Next week, I'm not sure what I'm going to actually show. I'll think about it, but it is December. As usual, I'm gonna try and do something a little bit more special, since it is the last drawing for this year. I'm not sure exactly which one I'll bring out to play with, but I guess you'll see next week. It's definitely gonna be one of my favorites though. And since it is December and next week pretty much Christmas it's upon us, I wish you Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And I guess I will be seeing you next week, just before the new year. And hopefully we'll get a fun drawing as well. Probably it's not going to be another animal, or at least not something that people will know. I think I do better with things that come out of my head and nobody knows what the hell they are. But we shall see. Anyway, I think I rambled enough for tonight, so I'll stop here, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I wish you a wonderful day or night, wherever you are. Take care. Bye.